What's up? What's up? So this video, I'm going to be reviewing my back testing results. I was talking to one of my homies one day, and he is a retired ball player. And one thing that he told me that stuck was he could always tell how good of a player was by how quick he adjusted and fixed his form whenever he was missing his shots, right? And that stuck with me because these past few weeks, I've been missing mine on the charts. I haven't been great with my execution, and that's been affecting my confidence. And I've been in drawdown half the time the past 3 weeks. So what did I do to get out of drawdown? What am I doing to regain my confidence, to sharpen my execution, to give myself something to increase my confidence and, go into this trading week pretty much on the right foot? So I've been back testing like crazy. That's always going to be my answer, is back testing. If you know me, I'm a huge advocate for back testing because it does so much for your mental edge and for your technical edge as well, right? So when you back test, the first thing is you're practicing execution. When you're in game, say if you're playing a basketball game or whatever, soccer, football, whatever, you're not going to practice your form in game or you already lost. You want to do this during scrimmage, during practice. That's what back testing is. Not only that, practicing your form and mastering your execution, your form, um, you want to train your eyes, right? When you back test several months, if not years, if you can, using historical price action or historical data, you are trading through numerous of different market conditions. You do not want to trade in a ranging market using a trend-based system or trade in a trending market with a range-based system. Like, you need to be able to train your eyes to know what conditions you're in and how to execute and what system is going to be applied to what market condition. And one of the most important things that I think that back testing does, that is not really talked about often, is the mental edge. If you go into a back testing session and choose one time frame, choose one setup, and you do the same entry and exit every single time, and you adjust properly, you will be able to see the wins and losses out of perfect executions, what will make it okay and allow you to accept loss. Because that's what make every trader unprofitable, is the inability to accept loss. How do they react after a loss? Do they leverage up, revenge trade, and do all the above? Or are they able to take the loss because they backtested enough to see how probabilities played out, and they know at the end of the day, their system is going to yield them a profit because they experienced it during the backtesting session instead of experiencing it live trading and losing their money on the line, right? So it does a lot for us, right? And I actually have a video on how important backtesting is and why you need to backtest 1,000 trades. The link is going to be in the description or in the tag above. So let's jump into it. So I'm using Tradezella, right? I probably should have been using this a long time ago, but better late than never. So you can see that my net P&L is $93. The reason why it's only $93 is because I was trading shares of QQQ. So it goes by the dollar. I took 65 trades, made $93. That's pretty solid. So my trade win percentage is a percentage of how many of my trades were winners out of the total amount of trades. So if I took 100 trades, 61% of them were winners. Then I have my profit factor. This is a metric that pretty much Tradezella calculates for you. And a profit factor of 1.01 or higher, you have a profitable edge. I have a 2.37, so that's pretty solid. I do have a profitable edge. So what does that tell me? That I have a profitable edge. Now, I am the weakest part of my plan. This thing between my ears, my mind, is the weakest part of the plan because the edge is double and almost double and a half of what the baseline is for a profitable system. So I'm the weakest part now. Day win percentage. Out of all the days I've traded, 70% of those days were wins. So if I traded 100 days, 70 of them, I ended on a green day. And then average win-loss trade. What this is pretty much saying is, since I got a 1.52, that's pretty much saying for every $1 that I lost, I made $1.52. So relative to this backtesting session, every $2.71 that I lost, I made $4.12, which isn't too bad, but this is my weakest statistic, and it shows right here on my Zeller score. So a Zeller score is pretty much taking all of these metrics, right, and combining them into one to give you this score out of 100 to show you how well-rounded of a trader you are. They have win percentage, profit factor, average win-loss, recovery factor, as in they take biggest loss that you took during this session and how fast you recovered it. What was the biggest loss of your session, relative to your wins? And then consistency. How consistent are you? So I pretty much maxed out 4 out of all of 6, which is pretty good. But you can see my weakest one is my average win loss, which is that 1.52. And what that pretty much is saying is I'm not allowing my winners to run. All right. But having an overall Zeller score of 81.3 is phenomenal. That is great. Okay. So if we scroll down and we look at my calendar over here, I started in the month of March, and I think I only did 2 months. So as you can see, I only took 2 to 3 trades max, which is pretty good. So 2 trades here, $5, 3 trades, almost break even, 3 trades, $5, 3 trades, 6, 1 trade, 1 trade, 1 trade, 1 trade, 1 trade, 2 trades. As you can see, my biggest loser so far came from trading more. That was 3 trades. These are little things that you have to look at when you're trading, because now I know that once I'm on my second or third trade, I might want to give it up for the day because my first ones should damn near win, or yeah, I should win almost immediately whenever I take my first trade. So if I'm on my third trade, I might want to stop because the market is not aligned with my setup, or I'm just fucking up mentally and I'm just doing whatever. Okay. So these are things we need to look for. All right. And even on my red day right here, it was 1 trade, $1.76. That is way better than losing $6.35. Red day right here, 1 trade, $1.84. Red day right here, 3 trades, $6.35. Even 2 trades is $2.57, and it's way better than $6.35. So this is the one thing that I need to worry about, and I need to focus on and go back on that day and review what I did. All these green days, I don't really need to talk about or touch on. Okay. So I ended that month with $31.10 and traded 20 days. Going to April, I made $59.20 and traded 21 days. This was pretty solid. Majority of these were only 1 trades. As you can see, there's not one day on here that I've right here. So one day I made 3 trades, but that worked out in my favor. I wouldn't bet on that. Okay. So even when I do that, it will be more in my favor not to. Okay. So yeah, every day was 1 trade. Maybe I had this 3 trades right here. There's 2 trades right here, 2 trades right here, 2 trades right there. That's it. Every other day, or majority of the days here, were 1 trade days. So that's what my strength is. I should win almost immediately off my first trade. And if not, I probably need to stop. Okay. So I just wanted to go over that with you guys real quick, and show you how important backtesting is, because now I know my strengths and my weaknesses. And this is something that you should implement on a daily basis almost to keep you sharp, just to practice your execution, practice your entries, your exits, and see what your weaknesses are by the stats, not what you think it is. And one last thing that I want to show you guys before we go. What I did was, if you go right here and go to Zeller score, right, and you go to learn more, it will pretty much show you what all of these factors are to give you your Zeller score, right? So what I did was I copied and pasted everything, right? Control A, Control C. Hopefully that wasn't the most valuable thing you learned in this video. And then I went to ChatGPT. All right, so here we are on ChatGPT. And I asked Chat, I said, digest these metrics and I will tell you my score for each. And I want you to give me insights on how I trade and my strategy, weaknesses, strengths, how much better I can be, how good I am, how good my strategy is, and also how bad we are. Tell me things that would be hard to tell, but key in my stats. I guess I was pretty much saying is if I was to show any human these stats, maybe something they would have overlooked that you can find that would be more valuable. And then I plugged in all of the metrics and the calculations from Tradezella. And then all the way at the bottom, I put my stats, which is right here. So here are my stats. Oh yeah, by the way, when you put in the stat, make sure you just put in one part of the stats. If you go to Tradezella, if you go to Tradezella and you hover over here, it will show you your stats. It say 95, but it also says 0.95. Right here, it'll say 100, but it also says 60.94. Over here, it'll say 79, but it also says 2.37. Choose one of those stats. I would choose what the actual profit factor is. So 2.37, I would choose 60.94%. I would choose consistency of 0.95. So use that one stat. I made the mistake of putting both of them in there and chat got confused. So I made that adjustment and this is what chat told me. As far as my win percentage, I got 100 on that. I win a lot, elite consistency. Recovery factor, I got a 7.23, that's 100%. I bounce back hard after losses, great resilience, right? So you can see it's actually telling me the technical perspective of it, but it's also telling me the mental or the psychological perspective of it. So that's really good. Max drawdown, 14.75%. I got an 85 out of 100. I keep my losses contained. Profit factor, 72.37 over 100, likely capped at 100. Insane profitability. You earn far more than you lose. Average win loss is 1.52. I got a 50. Man, that's a terrible. If you've been to school, you know that you can get like 5 100s and then you get that 150 and it brings the entire thing down, bro. It's like bullshit. But anyway, your wins aren't much bigger than your losses. So that's something that I need to fix. And then my consistency, I got 0.95, which is a 95 out of 100. Very stable daily performance. You avoid erratic trading. And I wanted to touch on max drawdown. I'm sorry. I want to touch on recovery factor and consistency. These two things right here is exactly why 95% of traders fail, because they cannot recover from their losses and they are not consistent. The recovery factor, the key to this for me was actually backtesting. Like I said, same entry, same exit, and seeing the wins and losses doing the same thing over and over again, seeing the probabilities play out, because I know that I'm going to lose. We all know we're going to lose in trading and it's a natural part of the game, but why can't we accept the losses? It's because it's not a belief yet. We have not sat down and witnessed and experienced doing the same thing over and over again, losing some, winning some, and looking at the overall profit and loss ratio and seeing that we make more than we lose. And once you experience that, then you can begin to trust your system. Then you can be able to trust your execution even on red days. And I'll even say this, if you get to the right headspace, you would start looking at your losses as investments, right? And that was the point of the profit factor right here. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the point of the average win-loss trade right here. For every $2.71 that I lost, I made $4.12. That's not a loss. That's called an investment. When you take your paycheck and you put it in the stock market, you put $200 in, you got $400 back. That's an investment, not a loss. So let's wrap this up. ChatGPT gave me my style profile, what these stats say about me and how good I really am, and then my brutal truths. So let's talk about it. So my strengths, first thing, you're extremely profitable. A profit factor of 72 plus is unheard of unless you're filtering only top setups, which we all should do. Man, it's unheard of. I know. I'm Himothy. Really strong after losses. High recovery shows you don't spiral emotionally, which a lot of people aspire to do. Backtest 1,000 times. Watch the video. Link in the description. High win percentage with low drawdown. Sniper accuracy plus risk control. And I'm very consistent. I don't tilt often. Most traders fail here. My weaknesses, my win-loss ratio, 1.52. I leave meat on the bone. You rely heavily on win percentage. If that drops even a bit, profitability starts to tank fast. You may exit too early or cut winners too short. You're probably not taking many big asymmetric trades, 3R plus plays, and low R trades dominate your P&L and could stunt scalability. Man, this is crazy. Look how valuable all this information is. I know how I trade. I know my strengths and weaknesses. I know me. And ChatGPT put it in a way where I can be aware of this. And this is something that I can use. This is a game changer right here, okay? Just being honest to me and about myself and my strengths and my weaknesses in my trading game. What does this say about me? Psychological read. You trade to be right, not just to make money. High win percentage gives confidence. So be it. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You likely avoid letting winners run out of fear of giving it back. I scale out of my positions. I used to let them run, but these past few weeks have been so hard on me. Now I'm starting to like scale out. You're disciplined, but not aggressive. You protect the downside more than pursue the upside. That's how you're supposed to be. That's actually a compliment. And I think that everybody should prioritize risk management and loss over making gains. Think in probabilities, not impossibilities. Risk averse, but highly tactical. So be it. And then here's my strategic read. You've mastered high probability setups. Your system is dialed, but probably too tight on targets and exits. You dominate in tight ranging markets and trends. You may take profits too early. This is crazy, bro. Guys, please go ahead and do this. Like, please. How good are you really? Your base is elite, like a fighter who never gets hit but rarely swings for the knockout. That's a crazy analogy, by the way. That's pretty spot on. You're not reaching your potential. If you got even a 2.0 to 2.2 average win-loss, you double your edge with the same trades. You're probably better than 95% of traders, but you're capping your upside. Understood. So as you can see, let's go to brutal truths real quick. I like this. You're playing not to lose, not to win big. If your win rate drops 50%, you probably lose money with your current R ratio. You don't need more trades. You need bigger trades and better exit frameworks. You're likely running a scalping mindset in a swing trader's world. That's crazy. That's wild, because that's what I was doing. I was literally looking at the hourly and the 1 minute chart. It's so crazy how chat knew, bro, do this. This is crazy. So I'm not going to go through all of this, but you guys get the gist of this. Please backtest your trades, gain that confidence, because confidence comes from execution, executing well. Fear and greed and all of those different things come from being unprepared, insecurity from being unprepared, and you're not able to trust the process. So everybody, please do this. Backtest on Tradezella. Take those inputs, all of those factors, all your results, put it in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, what does this tell about me and what I need to work on? You can even ask it to create, I don't know, like exercises for you, maybe even checklists to help you improve all of these things. So yeah, do that. I hope this video helped you, and I'll see you on the next one.